years again. 70-year cycle. That's going to be an interesting year. Maybe I won't have to, I'll be 100 almost by that time, so maybe I won't have to worry about it. But it's going to be an interesting area. Here's another one, another disease cycle. This whole thing, there's 3 major disease cycles coming together right there within a 2-year period. One of them's human and the other 2 are crops and livestock. Could foot and mouth disease get going in this? It's possible. Certainly possible. Okay, once again, see there's not very much red there. Another cold period, right down in here, is equivalent to War of 1812. Middle Arctic. There's going to be some very, very cold weather coming up. And I think we got one more here. Pardon me? What was that? What about global warming? What about global warming? I mean, why do you think I did this? I could prove that Al Gore was, you know. So here it is again. So another major disease cycle in 2050. We got a whole bunch of long-range, serious disease cycles coming up. Does anybody even see this coming? I don't think so. We certainly go to Washington. Their disease emits hot air. Even with all the global warming they have out there, they couldn't melt the snow. So that's what your cycle shows for the next 41 years. I'm going to take it out. Now I got my supercomputer. We finally got 2 of them. We got the second one online in the end of October. And we're going to take this out to 2100 and show that this whole thing, just like the Mayans did, show that there's going to be a problem, major problem all the way through until we get to 2200. Then things will start to level out. So by that time, you and I aren't going to care. And probably our ancestors may not either. I don't know. The other thing I want to do is take that back, run it backwards, and see if the fall of Rome is related to the Dalton cycle. We want to be able to prove that. I think we've got enough data we can do it. It'll take even those machines are going to be smoking when they get done. So we had back to 400 AD. That's a long ways back. You've got to run each one of these cycles. There's 6,200 of them. You have to run them through each day all the way back. And we're going back 1,600 years. So that's going to be a lot of calculations. We're talking many millions of calculations, probably 200–300 million. That's what we're shine for. Okay, any questions? And that's when we start the commodities. I want to keep an eye on the time. Okay, let's get started on that. These are really, see how this is. Okay, let's see. I don't know how to work for some reason. Oh, we'll just flip this thing. That's what we'll do. Corn. How many remember January 12th? That disaster came out of Washington, D.C. Got an idea. I've got a question for you. How can you have Illinois having a record crop? Well, my yields are all below normal, and so are all my neighbors. Does that make sense? Another thing. I would have both non-GMO and GMO crops. We got weight tickets for them. Now, we found out this year, due to the lack of sun energy and heat coming in, that the non-GMO crop was down about 10 bushel an acre from my average, which is 157. That's my 5 to 10 year average. Now the GMO crops, which everybody says is going to be great, instead of being down just 10, they were down 25. We got the tickets to prove it. Now what happened? I have no idea. I have a couple ideas that might help explain it, but I can't prove it. One of them maybe is all that Roundup is kind of killing a lot of the microfauna in the soils, or altering them to the point where they don't work as well. That's one idea. Another idea is GMO crops take more energy, and the sun doesn't have it. If that's the case, then we're going the wrong direction. So we're going to see some major problems coming. Now there's your gap, January 12th. And do you have any chartists in here, technicians? What happens to the gaps on the charts? They all get filled. Yep, eventually they'll get filled. That's a 395. This is March futures. I'm sorry, this is May futures. So this is a 4. It's a nickel difference. So I just shifted up from March to May. So that means, yeah, corn's going to hit $4 sometime before too long. Probably before May. So, if you've sold all your corn at the bottom, like, I've done that too, yes. It's very easy to do. Everybody panics so they won't sell the corn. And you know the next day it'll start going up and it never stops. So this is something interesting to watch. But, if you notice, we kind of hit a little kind of a plateau there. And that plateau is over here. This means corn may be done going down. If it isn't done going down, it's going to go down to here, which is going to be about 325 to 330. And that will be the bottom. The cycle shows that that should be here by March 20 or thereabouts. That's a plus or minus 5 days. So if you still got something to get rid of, hang on to it for if you can. Anybody still got stuff out in the field? Not here. Didn't see much when I was coming down. Get south of Interstate 80, you would kind of get out of it. But my neighbor's got 300 acres out in the field. Butts up right against my line. He's got the fattest deer I've ever seen. They are so content, you just about reach out and pet him on the nose. I'd rather pet him with a 12 gauge, but that's another story. But yeah, so I tell you, I don't think he's going to have near as much corn as what he thought. Deer ate some up, the rest of them fell off. So this is something to watch. Corn's going to be going up. But I don't see it going up much before March 20. We've got a major inflation cycle coming up. That's going to change the whole game. Soybeans. Well, soybeans took a hit that day too. And you can see it right here. But again, looks like they've kind of gone down. Here's your bottom. And that's right around $9.40. Will it get that low? I don't know. Because the news coming out of South America is going to be hitting around mid-March. We're not going to hear anything from them until mid-March. And when you do, at first everybody's not going to believe it, and then the market's going to start, the chart's going to start going up before anybody else talks about it. That's your cue. That's the cue. Watch this. These are going to go higher. And we'll get into, notice here, we got a top right in here. That's right now about $10.75. It gets past that at $11. This thing's going to go higher and go a lot higher. Wheat. Anybody here still have wheat on hand? Or did you get rid of it all by now? Well, I'll tell you, wheat doesn't have a friend in the world. At least not in Chicago. I'm kind of friendly to wheat because there's two things that people are confusing. The big thing is, what is food-grade wheat versus feed-grade wheat? This chart is supposed to show food-grade wheat. Number one, USDA number one. But most of the wheat in the world is not food-grade. It's feed-grade. Number two. So it competes against corn. So that's what we're looking here.